Welcome back out to Culture Redneck's garage. Well, it is awfully darn cold and icy. The roads are slick as a gut. There isn't any traffic here, which is not, well, it doesn't happen hardly at all. But yeah, that's what happens when you're south of the Ohio River and it ices over. Just what happens. But now I'm thinking of you guys, Two Hacks, Bear Rose, and Big Mike, because I know you guys are dealing with this on a daily basis, more or less. But anyways, we say we get out of the cold, get in that garage, and finish up that patch. Well, we're back out here in the garage. Now, as you probably just saw in that clip, it was kind of evening, very cold. And as I got out in the garage, this space was not clear. The wife's fan was in here, made it kind of difficult to work. And when you're putting body filler on stuff, heat helps. You know, granted, the process is a bit of a, you know, it's a chemical process, but it needs to be within certain temperature ranges. Now, granted, it will work in cold, but not quite like it will in a little bit warmer weather. So what I've been doing, we're actually out here the next day. Got the good old propane heater going, and I've already put one little coat on here, and like I said, it took a little bit longer to do, so I'm heating that up so we can get her applied back. I got a little high spot there, or I'm sorry, a little low spot we just need to fill in, and it shouldn't take too long with this panel beginning to heat up, and we will get back to it. But we gotta be quick, because the wife's out on the road today. They got some of the roads cleared, and so she'll be back soon. So we gotta make quick work of this, because our workspace is fixing to go away, or at least the heating space is anyway. So let's get to it. So as I just mentioned, we have a little bit of a low spot here or there. Mainly, gotta touch that up just a little piece right there and right here. But in all reality, you know, this is an inner fender. Some of this is even going to be covered by the fender here, and so it isn't like we got to be perfect on this, you know, as much as we'll try to be on some of our panels. So, you know, I mean, we don't have to be perfect here. So that's what we're not going to do that. You know, we don't want to spend a lot of time on something that doesn't have to be, you know, concourse material here. So anyway, we're going to do that. Now, there is one caveat. I've noticed whenever I tried to start sanding here, I used this little guy right here, but we gotta blew out our flip-flop here. And so we're going to have to replace that somehow, because I knew that's been coming for a while. So we're going to fix that. But in the meantime, what we might try, if I don't go grab one here shortly, I've been wanting to try one thing. I bought this little jewel at a swap meet for $20 last year. I've been wanting to use it ever since. Granted, this is not probably the perfect application for this. You need a wide open panel or wide open space to really make good use of this thing. But I want to try it out, because I've been dying to try it out. But anyways, yeah, I think it's going to come in real handy when we get to doing a lot of the doors and the rockers and that sort of thing. But anyways, just I am not promoting any products. I put down a low quality filler here because I'm about out of my other stuff, but I am coming in with the little low stuff with, so I'm not getting paid to promote this. It's called Dolphin Glaze. It, you know, of course, comes with a hardener to go with it. That stuff is so smooth, and it lays down real nice, and it's good for your last little finishing touches. So I recommend this product. It's made by Upol. If you find yourself needing something like that. All right, let's go ahead and fill this. That way we can get that done with, and because I'm tired of working on this. We spent too much time on it, so let's get her done. All right, I have mixed in just a little bit. In fact, I probably didn't put enough of that Dolphin Glaze on there to really do much justice. But I put adequate hardener, and so I'm gonna fill in these high spots. But yeah, one thing I like about this, I actually put this bag of Upol Dolphin Glaze on our diffuser in the house because it's been so gosh darn cold out here, and so I'm hoping that loosened it up a little bit. I got this baby mixing on a paper plate. That is not what I typically utilize when I'm doing this sort of thing. I actually have a board full of wax type sheets, and that makes for easy quick cleanup because you just throw it away. And anyways, that's what we do there. All right, let's try to get a couple of these little high spots here, or low spots. Okay. The goal here is to not go crazy because that's less sanding we have to do, and let's face it, we don't want to do any more sanding because we don't have our orbital. But the main thing we want to tackle is this guy. Yeah, right in here, where I had to build up all those high welds because of my boo-boo on cutting that back too short. Oh, there, right there is perfect. All right. One thing I like about this stage of the filler process, this stuff, once it gets spread, it just gets slick like a dolphin's back, and that's I guess why they call it dolphin glaze. I don't want to sand any more than I have to. In fact, what we may have to do, we may have to sand it the old-fashioned way by hand, which is not desirable, or at least in my opinion, unless you're block sanding. And even then, it's not great. But block sanding can be relaxing if you let it. It's just getting to that mindset, because sometimes it's not, because it's so time consuming. But you know, if you don't rush your project, it's not too bad. Of course, with No Name Nationals, we are trying to rush it, so I guess time is of the essence, so you don't want to just sit on your jobs. But man, I think I wished I had put a little bit more out. We're having trouble getting this filled in here, and I can already start it feeling like it's setting up. So, man, yep. All right, I try to put a little curve on this thing. Let's see if that helps us. Not like what we wanted. We're gonna have to go back. All right, well, we just put our dolphin glaze on here. Looks like it laid out pretty smooth, so it shouldn't be too much to sand down. So we may get away with the airfoil working right there, but some of this right over here, I think we have to do this by hand, and so we'll just go a little bit grittier on our grit and dig into some of that, and then smooth it out maybe with some 220 or 120 even. I'm not too concerned with it because it's a inner fender. I'm sorry. So, anyways, let's we're gonna let that cure a little bit longer before we can get there and get in with sandpaper. Otherwise, it'll just clog up our paper. So let's let that cure a little bit. All right, now we are trying to work on getting our holes matched up like we did here. What I measured was center to center 8 3/4. Now what I've already done that I didn't capture for you, I went ahead and marked those out. Chrysler made half-inch holes, spanned half-inch apart, which you know would be a whole inch. So that made it easy for me, and so I've already punched those. And I took one of these trusty drill bits. This is when these kind of guys come in real handy, because this one goes all the way up to a half, and the span was not bad, so came right back on in. Came right back on in. And you know, I don't like using Dremels for a lot of things, but for this it's just right. So anyways, we will get that cut back out we're going to do our best. Last thing before we paint, put a little indention in there. I think we can do it. We just need to have whatever the thickness is of this little whatever you call that. We'll call it a nut for now because that's essentially what it does. So anyways, let's continue on. Alright folks, we are just about done here. I sort of spared you a lot of this work here with spreading filler and whatnot. You know, we went in with kind of a cheaper filler and then went back with one of my favorites, the Upol Dolphin Glaze. That helped out real nice. Some of it is kind of pointless because once again, this fender will set right on top of here and some metal juts out and over here, so it covers even a lot of this. So it in some ways it's pointless, but we got it done. And you know, I think I showed you earlier, well I don't have it in here, but I showed you earlier the little flap on my sander, my rotary sander. It went out, and so until I buy another one, what I did was I went and got some, actually I had it here in the garage, some of this 3M adhesive to you know, kind of get that sticking. But you know, it's still got a cure for a little bit, so I was getting impatient. I wanted to get this done. So what I did was I did it the old-fashioned way. I just put some 80 grit sandpaper that I had on here, just did it like that. Now it was a little bit of work, but you know, just like the old guys, we got her done, and it wasn't too bad. You know, if you develop a pretty good spreading practice with your, you know, all your squeegees and stuff, it can kind of help knock down your time doing that. So we got that done, and I come back in with some 120 or something, and really I should go a lot thinner than that. I think I did, yeah, eventually went 120, and no, then 320. I went 320, and so we got that. One other little thing, this right here, I'll just kind of tell you what I did. There's an indention with these other guys, and the one thing I was leaving to do later was to do that, and I didn't know exactly how I was going to try it, but I said, you know what, we'll just get out the hammer and dolly and see what we can do. And using this edge really helped. We went around there and got it and knocked it down to the thickness that that little, we'll call it that little nut, that clip, whatever you want to call that. I'm not sure what the proper term is for, but anyways, we're going to blow this off and throw some primer on there, let that dry, finish it up with some sort of satin black that kind of matches everything else, and we are going to be done. Before we do, I was going to try this, and I did try it for a minute. This is what I, of course, got at the swap meet for 20 bucks. Fine tool. I'm excited to use this on the doors and everything else. I just didn't have the right sandpaper for the job. Now, if I had you know, an 80 grit or a 120 for this, you know, or whatever, it would really cut down time and help make things flat. So we'll be using this in the future. So let's go ahead, blow this off once again. We'll throw some primer on there and some top coats, and we can be done with this. All right, we got primer on. It's not looking bad, guys, not looking bad. Don't see anything major wrong with it, and I think it's going to work. All right, let that dry. Come on back, finish her out with the black. All right, we got some black on this finally, and it's still flashing off a little bit, but it is done. I am extremely happy that we did that. Let's let that dry, and we'll finish this up. Well, that's going to conclude our inner fender patch that we made here. We have spent a few episodes going over sort of how to make a template for this sort of thing, how to go in and bend the metal, how we weld in and fit up the patch that we made, and how we've along the way realized we had to do a little bit more patching. So we got that taken care of. I'm extremely happy with how this has turned out. You know, really, in all honesty, I mean, while it's not the perfect patch, there's not a whole lot of difference I think I could tell in between what we've repaired here and the other side of the car. So anyways, we're going to conclude that, you know, this was quite a difficult patch, and I've kind of said that from the beginning. There will probably be more difficult ones in the future, but you know what? It just goes to show you that you can really, if you just dive into something, you can a lot of times figure it out as you go. You know, you use your head, do some problem solving, think about how the metal should be bent, maybe anticipate some of the issues you're going to have. You can get there. And you know what? We're going to get there with the rest of this project, Lord willing. So hopefully we'll get this done and we will be there at the No Name Nationals. And so I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and call this whole area right here done and move on to the next thing. So I'm going to get things cleaned up. We'll see you maybe tomorrow with another video, or the next day, and we'll discuss kind of where we're going to go from here on this project. And so anyways, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, I encourage you to do that. We're going to have lots of great things coming in the future. And so until next video, we'll see you.